So he, in an effort to like continue to be relevant in the national political conversation, since the Supreme Court, which now is going on a tour saying how we're not political, even though we just like completely gutted Roe v. Wade and found a what would have been patently unconstitutional abortion ban unconstitutional like 2 courts ago. Totally just let that thing go. But we are not political, guys. We didn't all just come out of the Federalist Society. Don't anyway. So we continue to get gaslit by conservatives. But yeah, here's Stitt just trying to convince everyone that he is the most pro-life. And I have to say, I watched some of this. I don't think I would really want to play it, just because it's gross. But he like has to read from a script, right? You know, to like say all this. Like it's not even. It doesn't feel like even like authentic. It's like purely like he's just doing the political reps, right? I mean, he's just like, I gotta say I'm pro-life, so like let's bang these out. You know, I got a 9 set here. Like it just doesn't even sound like I had kids, so therefore I am now pro-life. Like, sure, okay. So anyway, so that was kind of gross. McCall, there's Greg Treat. So it's just everyone preening for the pro-life crowd, even though as somebody points out on the Twitter thread right below that 10,000 Oklahomans have died of COVID. So yeah, real pro-life there, buddy. All right, do you have anything on that or
he's
any?
like not continuing. Like I get what he's doing. He's appeasing to the pro-life crowd in spite of pro-death policies, pro-murder policies, pro-pandemic policies. I don't see it, man. Nationally, he's just another boring white dude. Like for all of like Trump's horror, he's entertaining. I can't take that away from him. It's horrible, and the policies are horrible. And I'm glad he's no longer president, but he's entertaining. And the problem they had so often on that side of the house is a bunch of boring white dudes. And Stitt's just a boring old white dude. He isn't very charismatic, isn't very engaging, isn't very smart, clearly. He's reading from he didn't even put enough thought in. It's like craft some bullshit story about how some mom thought about it and came up to you and was like, Stitt, I changed my mind, and now the kid went through the underfunded Oklahoma public schools, is now a doctor and saving lives. Like something instead of read. I said when I was elected, I would sign the bills, and I like give us more than that. You know,
I have children, therefore
I mean,
pro-life.
Again, I continuously to question his national political. I mean, what the fuck do I know? But it seems he can he plays the game, but he doesn't play it well enough to rise above the crowd and create a national profile.
Yeah, I think the only thing I think does work for it though is just like his just willingness to like get it done. You know, like I mean, like many of these abortion bills that passed this last session, Fallon vetoed. I mean, Brad Henry did it before her, but even Mary Fallon vetoed like some of the absolute worst ones, like the just really unhinged. Like we're gonna like criminalize doctors that perform abortions and stuff like that. Stitt just has zero shame. So I do think like the zero shame. He doesn't have a lot of charisma. Like I agree. Like I think we definitely agree on that. He has no charisma in his delivery of this, and can't even like be bothered to like come up with like a fake story that he manufactures to justify. But he does have zero shame, which I do think like that's very like Trumpian to be like, yeah, I literally do not care what the consequences of this is. Like, I don't care if people are coat hangers in back alleys. I don't care if it hurts, XYZ people. Like, do not care. I'm just going to do it. It is. So I think that's where he could, like, pick up a lot of votes is like, if he just, like, keys in on the, like, this is going to really upset liberals thing, or this is going to hurt some outgroup. And we'll get to it in a little bit, because that's going to be our positive note that we're going to end on, is about the Afghan refugees. For some reason, he's not leaning into the nativism. So but he'll lean into this. So I don't know. It's like, it's kind of weird how he's trying to heat seek certain constituencies.
he does manage to be. I don't call him a ruthless political operator because I feel like ruthless requires some cunning and that requires some thought, and I never accorded much thought. But I do feel like you are right in that whatever the cultural grievance bullshit is, he'll just go find it and lean into it 100%. Like he is, it's not any nuance to it. It's not any consideration to it. Now that could be, that's his greatest strength. It could be his greatest liability, depending, right? But yeah, it's like, all right, whatever these bills are, all right, whatever you need me to sign, like he will. In spite of what I could be wrong on this, but I feel like he did give some indications earlier, at least being open minded on the Julius Jones situation. If he for 1 minute feels there's like a cultural grievance to be had and some political gain, he'll kill him. Right?
Yeah.
He will lean 100% into that. So yeah, I'll give you that. He is like about the bullshit.
Yeah.
In ways that are
And just shameless. I mean,
yeah.
just has like, there's no iota of like regret. Yeah, I see this comment. I don't understand why abortion dominates the political discourse in this country. I might have felt that way sort of at times. My deal is if you are a childbearing age person who can bear children, I think you feel very differently about that. Like it children are, it's a big deal. It's a lot of responsibility. If you're not able to control that, like it dictates your life in ways that are not
Yeah, so I don't know
good.
about like where it should sit on the rim of like actual importance of like things and ramifications of like things that we need to be considering politically or like in the grandstand. I don't really think like that. I will say, right, it's just what the right wields,
Sure.
right, and they make it central. Like it's central because they make it central. Like I was listening to a podcast about a legal podcast about it, and like another, I think it was Germany, where actually I got to read the book. It's like how America, like our obsession with rights is like part of the reason our country is fucked.
Mm.
But like Germany was having an issue about abortion, and they took it from not like a right versus a wrong thing, just like an actual consideration of the ramifications of it. And abortion is legal there, to a point, like not abortion flat out is legal, but it was like it's legal to a point, and it's no longer an issue, a political issue in Germany, no longer a political issue in Canada where it's legalized, because there's less of like a right and having to justify like who has rights. The child bearer has rights, the fetus has rights, and like all of this rights analysis versus like the actual ramifications of it. Like if you make it illegal, it won't really be illegal. You just be killing people, right? So
Yeah.
how can it be pro life if you make it illegal? People will die in back alleys, right?
Yeah.
It's an actual like in depth and nuanced consideration of it to take it out of the political discourse. That to say, it's central to the political discourse because they feel like it's it animates and gets people out to vote, and they're a substantial number of those voters. And I just want to say this because it's always just I want to make this a point. People always say that like abortion is what got the Christian right up in arms and voted and animated them and motivated them to become a voting bloc. That is wrong. It's actually racism. That's
Yeah.
much of what it is in this country. Bob Jones University was up in a tiff because the Department of Education, Department of Justice was like, you can't bar interracial relationships on campus, and that is the issue that animated the quote unquote Christian right. It wasn't abortion. They eventually just picked up abortion. Because if you look at like the 60s, they were really fucked up. The Catholics were like fucked up about it, but like no other religious group was fucked up about
Yeah.
abortion. So that's actually racism. But it's central. Having not being a person who can bear children, I think if you can bear children, we should give you the resources and autonomy to make decisions of how you can best do that, right? Instead of your fucking uterus. But it's so central to us as a nation because it's a significant political issue to an entire group, right? So we gotta
Yeah.
have this conversation in that way. That's the whole reason. I don't. I mean, I don't think most of them give a fuck. Every fucking couple years, you're reading about some Republican politician who like pays for like the 9th abortion of his mistress. Like I don't think a lot of them give a fuck.
No, literally. I mean, the guy who won in Nichols Hills area, I mean, like literally, like lost Ogle like week before the election came out that he had paid for his girlfriend's abortion back in the 90s or whenever. Just hypocrisy. Just nonstop. Thanks for watching our video. Please give it a like and hit that subscribe button for more content. If you want to engage with us, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram.